What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 33 of the French Fox podcast. We got a fun one for you today. We've got Augie.
Heyo.
Noah.
Hello.
Dylan will be joining us later. And
That's me, Dylan.
No, that's not
that was
Dylan.
Augie. And I'm Will, so sit back, relax, or stand up and be on edge. Get ready for a fun podcast.
Whoa.
Steve Tim, roll the intro.
Wait, Steve Tim rolls the intro?
Yeah,
that's
roll it,
crazy.
Steve. Come
All
on,
right,
Steve.
French fries. French fries.
Yeah.
French fries. French fries.
I've listened to that so many times. It's weird to think that we actually recorded that just randomly. It could sound like so many different things, but it just sounds like that.
Isn't that was almost a year ago? Coming up,
Yeah.
maybe in a couple
We
months.
started in May, I think.
Crazy. Well, now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Between Two Intros.
Oh,
With Ben
Where's Ben
Gaffiganakis.
Gaffiganakis?
Well, he couldn't be here, but he wrote me an email. Let me pull it up.
All right.
okay.
It says, subject line, Ben Gaffiganakis. Dear French Fox team, unfortunately, I am out in the savannah this week, and I will not be here. I don't have any advice for you, but I love all of you very much.
Oh.
Can't wait to see you next week. Question mark. Love, Ben Gaffiganakis.
Wow.
And then I got a separate email from Ben saying, hey, make sure to check your email. I sent you something.
Wait, so this is a real email?
Yeah.
Oh, Ben.
Yep. Oh, Ben, you're a
He's
funny
so
guy.
sweet.
So this has been Between Two Intros, which means it's time for
The next intro.
the next intro, which is Since We Last Spoke. Steve Tim, roll that intro.
Talking is easy, we gotta catch up. Please don't hold a single little thing for me. Since we last spoke.
Ooh, baby.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow, beautiful. Love that intro.
Yep.
You know what that means? It's time for Since We Last Spoke, everyone's favorite segment where we talk about things that have happened since we last spoke last week on the podcast. Anyone got anything interesting?
I don't really have an interesting story, but
you were just in a show, weren't you?
I was just gonna say, everyone in this on the team and everyone in the room right now, we all went through the same theater program at high school, two varying degrees of involvement, but we were all a part of it. And so Ben, Dylan, and I are seniors, so we just finished off. I finished off with my last show, and it was a really crazy time. There's a little tradition that we do called Ghostlight, which was really cool, and I cried a lot. So not an interesting story, but just getting real with the viewers.
Tears were
listeners. So it was a really beautiful moment. Everything's kind of coming to an end.
Don't count out the viewers. Some people are watching on YouTube, looking at a picture of us right now.
True, but do you think they're looking, or it's in a separate tab?
No, I
and
watch
they're
it.
just listening.
No, I watch it. Sometimes it changes.
Oh, yeah. I
Watch
forgot.
closely.
I brought a GoPro today for us to film, but I forgot to tell you guys before we started this podcast. So
Yeah, maybe next time.
maybe next time.
Is
We'll
that
see.
Is that a new jacket and a new shirt?
No.
I've never seen it.
Maybe new shirt, but absolutely not a
Does
new
it mean
jacket.
something?
I don't
Can
know.
we give context? We don't have the GoPro right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Noah's shirt, so it's a black square, and there's a thumbs up in it, and everything's very blocky.
It is.
Oh my god, you can he has very strong veins on his wrist. It's
Yeah.
kind of gross.
So this is a YouTuber's merch. I do not know who.
No.
But I worked for this YouTuber, Parker. I don't know. We've mentioned him, I think, before in the podcast.
We have.
Parker Games is his YouTube channel.
I never heard of him.
But so he was moving out of his apartment, and he gave me a ton of just free merch that he had in boxes. And it's not all his. It's a bunch of YouTubers merch. So that's all I wear now. Is
also
random YouTubers merch.
He also gave us his YouTube channel, so
Yeah.
that was cool too.
Check it out. We own that now.
Yeah, it doesn't get great views, so
Yeah,
Not
French
the best
Fox
gift,
Productions
but-
YouTube channel gets way more views.
definitely.
Yeah, totally. Will, you do anything fun?
No,
Honey?
I don't. Honey,
I don't know.
everyone, that's so weird. I'm having a weird deja vu.
Okay. Well, we do since we last spoke. We've done it for 33 weeks.
Wow, almost a whole year. I think. Could you have had a baby? Is French Fox our baby? Is it coming to term
I feel
right
like
now?
I feel like does it start when office hours started or when the podcast started? I don't
just
think
when the podcast.
when the podcast. Well, then yeah.
Wow. Twins on the way.
I have a since we last spoke.
Go.
No,
Okay.
just kidding. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So I've been like trying to get into acting for a really long time, but I've kind of kept putting it off. I like focused on music and acapella and stuff, but I finally got in contact with an agent, and I'm gonna sign with her. And she sent me on my first audition, my first like real audition for a commercial. It was a Pepsi commercial, and ironically, it was for a beatboxing role. So I had spent so much time after I graduated high school focusing on beatboxing instead of acting, and now I finally make the transition like back into acting, and my first audition is for a beatboxing role.
Seems like it's perfect. Seems
yeah.
like it's fate.
It went very well, but
Good.
I don't know if I'm really what they're looking for. We'll see. But it was fun.
Well, probably the rest of the people were like,
Right. Right.
Or did you see anyone else?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, there weren't a ton of people on the sign-up list.
did you see any? Oh, so you didn't see anyone that you were like, oh, that's the beatboxer from.
No. No. But it was funny. I went in the room and like I don't go on auditions, so I didn't really know proper audition technique.
What do you mean you didn't slate your name?
Well, no, I know about slating, but the only slating I've done is in high school theater when it's like, hi, I'm Noah Davis. I'm 17 years old, and I'm auditioning for the role of Lysander. Like, you like do it like that.
Noah walks into the audition room and says, "Hi, I'm Noah Davis, 11th grade." I mean,
Literally, yeah. No, the thing is, though, I went in there, and he was like, all right, go ahead and slate your name. And I was like, hi, I'm Noah Davis, and I'm auditioning for... And I like got caught up and I was like, oh, I don't know how to continue this. I'm not really auditioning for like a role. I'm auditioning for beatboxer. So I kind of just like said a sentence that just didn't make sense. And he was like, you can just slate your name.
and the guy writes down doesn't know how to slate name.
No, but he was like, just for future reference, like just do what they ask of you. You don't need to add anything else. But he also knew ahead of time that it was my first audition because my agent was like, oh, I just signed with him and they were looking for not Hollywood types, so.
Oh.
Yeah, so
You're
maybe
perfect.
it was good that
Is that why I didn't get sent out on this one?
Yeah.
Dang it.
You know, if you had been allowed to see other auditions, you would have seen my audition.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Can we get a sample?
Yeah, they're debating between beatboxing or
Right.
having someone like just hit themselves like
okay.
ham boning.
That's interesting. Was that after my audition? After they saw me, they were like, maybe we don't need a beatboxer. Maybe we just need someone ham bone.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I came in right after you, and they were like, slate your name, and I was like, you know who I am. And they were like, you're right, Will, ham bone king.
Ham bone king.
That's such a. Is that in SpongeBob? Where
I
they
feel
just-
like it is. Maybe the SpongeBob movie?
Ham
don't
boning?
know.
Yeah.
There's an episode of Victorious called The Hambone King.
Really?
I was in it.
What?
Really?
I wasn't gonna mention it, but this came up too. It was like too perfect of a coincidence. I played the young Hambone King.
No, you did.
Insane.
Yeah, I performed a routine.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty. Can you give us? You heard my here. We'll do a ham bone off. Okay.
Oh.
This is Augie, by the way, for reference. Okay. Okay, pass it to me. Pass it to me.
Oh.
Whoa.
Dude, this is getting a little too crazy for me.
Okay, Dylan, ham
Dylan, take it
bone.
away.
What?
What are we doing?
Guys, Dylan literally just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah,
he landed in his
ham-boning
chair.
summoned
He
me.
fell from the sky. That
Were
was
you guys
insane.
not trying to do that? There's a specific ham bone beat that actually summons me to the offices.
That's what we were
Wow.
doing. You just
Oh.
appeared.
Okay, well that
A
makes sense.
sort of rain dance type.
If only we had the GoPro. You know what's something that this is just so random. I don't know why I was thinking about it. Do any of you know what Until Dawn is? Video game.
Oh,
from
yeah.
2015?
Yeah.
I just
Rami Malek.
so scary. Yeah.
Is in it?
He's Josh.
the like
the main-
weirdo.
That's okay. I don't know much about the game.
Oh yeah, no. If you
Wow.
if you relook at it, you'll be like, oh, that is Rami Malek and all of his.
I just found out that
weirdness.
he's in BoJack Horseman, or I found that out
Yeah.
recently.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and you'll
Who is
never
he?
be able to
No.
unhear it. He's like the
No.
weird producer guy that runs the show, and he's like, I need more ID.
Oh, really?
And there's this one scene where a girl character leaves, and he's like, "Where did Princess Carolyn go?" The character, and then he just sits there, and he's like, "Maybe I'm Princess Carolyn," and then he puts on lipstick and says, "Oh, fish." And after I found out that was Rami Malek, I was like, "Oh no!"
That's such a funny show. Dylan, do you have anything since we last spoke? Are
Welcome,
those new
welcome,
glasses?
welcome.
Relatively.
I like them.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't like them.
Oh, thank you.
Just
I do
for
appreciate
reference,
it.
And I'm right in the middle.
Okay.
All right.
Just for reference, Dylan's glasses are they're kind of like wood, I guess, like faux wood.
They're actually wood.
No, they're not.
I carved them actually.
Whoa. Pretty. Wait a minute. Are they not real? Oh, I just poked my hand through the lens.
My eye.
Oh my God,
Ow.
your finger is in his eye.
My
your
eye.
finger is
Ow.
in
My
his
eye.
Wait, let
eye.
me pull it out.
This is
Schloink.
Ow.
Oh,
his
Dang.
eye is on my finger.
He's gonna bleed out.
Dude, that
Will.
hurts. Ow.
This is terrible.
I refuse to participate in this bit.
It's not.
Oh.
Whatever. I'm gonna ham
Calling the
bone.
ambulance.
I'm gonna do the ham bone ritual to make you disappear.
Don't do that.
Dylan, anything?
I don't think so. It's been one of those weeks where a lot of stuff happened, but it was all kind of just like relatively boring. So since we last spoke.
That kind of stuff is perfect for since we last spoke. But since we've all spoken about the last time we spoke, I think it is time for our next segment. Augie, do you want to give us that intro?
I can try in absence of Ben.
Of course. Oh, Ben actually sent me an email. It says, "Dear French Fox team, it's time for salmon," and then there's an audio file I need to play. So
Is this real?
So let me play it right now.
Okay.
Thank you, Ben.
Wow, that was a long one.
Yeah, I don't think you had to play the whole clip.
Yeah.
Wait, it says Ben says make sure to play it twice.
Okay.
Oh.
So, okay, I'll
One more
play it
time.
again, Ben.
I mean, he's the boss.
Wow. I feel like it was longer
I was
this
gonna say,
second time.
did you accidentally
Was that
cut
like
out?
an extended release?
It had sort of a like diminuendo at the end.
It
kind of
looped back. Well, that's what happened.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
vine. Gotcha.
Ben
It's
sent
a
a vine.
TikTok actually now. Please be current.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to talk about, something that news article that just was published yesterday, updated today. A doctor delivered an end-of-life news via robot. So a doctor
Wait.
told someone in their family that they were he was going to die with a robot.
So the robot just said, "You
No,
are going to die."
So that's what I thought at first. But if you look at this picture, I'll describe it. So it's like, I feel like they do this on TV sometimes. It's like a stand with wheels at the bottom, and like picture like an iPad screen on top that wheels around. And
Wait, I feel like there was a Victorious episode.
Yeah, I was just
but
gonna
wait,
say.
is the sorry to ruin the fun, but is it like a video stream of the doctor through there?
yes, but he's not. Why isn't he in the room?
But it's like eye to eye contact, right?
I mean, as eye to
Is there a
eyes-
reason like that they can't go in close because he has a disease that's like
Oh, God.
so?
I
I
didn't even
don't
think of
know.
that, but yeah, that's
Because why else would you need a robot?
yeah.
Like it's not like
He
he's
was just
like,
lazy.
Okay.
It's not like
He was
he's
just
lazy.
lounging and like
He
didn't
was
want to
late
deal
for
with
work.
I don't know. I'm looking.
Sorry to vet
Is
you
this like a
way.
Whatever.
professional robot, or was it literally
Whatever.
just an iPad like taped to a remote control car? Like what are we looking at here?
It was a guy on a hoverboard
Holding up
in a morph suit.
I don't know. It doesn't really say why he wasn't in the room. It doesn't make because he had a chronic lung disease. So it's not like the
So-
doctor.
That could be
That sounds
contagious.
airborne.
But the family was in the room too.
What were they?
Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
was
yes,
joking.
because-
Lung
because-
diseases, I don't think are usually.
Because here it says nurses were in the
you're
room
right.
too. So why
Okay.
wasn't the doctor there?
That's a great question. It doesn't
Well,
say why.
sometimes when
No.
you're at Starbucks, you order your drink and then it like doesn't come up, so you have to ask them, and then they're like, "Oh, we're still making it," but actually they forgot, and you see them go back and start making it.
Oh, I've done that where someone's like, "Hey, you said our tables are gonna be ready 15 minutes ago. You said it was gonna be 5 minutes," and I was like, "Oh yeah, what's your name?" They're like Jeff, and I'll be like, "Oh Jeff, I have you right here." And I'll be like, "Find me a table for Jeff." You know?
Yeah, so that could be what happened to him.
How does that?
Well, we should be sympathetic. It could have happened to the doctor,
What do you mean? Like
and
you
then he
forgot?
used the robot with Starbucks free Wi-Fi.
I'm so confused.
I don't understand. Like the
Okay,
doctor forgot
so
to tell
you're
them.
a doctor. You're going into work. First thing you have to do, you have to
I'm
tell
a
this
doctor?
dude. You're gonna yes, congrats.
What school did you go to for doctor?
Yale
Nice, congrats.
I was gonna
State.
like-
Yale State.
Oh,
Oh.
Yale State Community College
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
of Ohio. The Harvard,
Mississippi.
the Harvard, the Harvard of the South.
West.
Anyway,
explain your
so
analogy.
now that Augie's a doctor from Yale State Community College,
In Ohio,
Mississippi,
the Harvard of the Southwest.
Airlines. I wanted to add something.
Oh my God,
too.
it's added.
Harvard of the Southwest
He went
Airlines.
to summarize to the Harvard of the Southwest Airlines. He's a doctor, and he's going in. The first thing he has to do today is tell this guy, "You're gonna die from your chronic lung disease." But of course, as all working people do, he stops at Starbucks, and that happens to him. It gets delayed. What are you going to do? You have to wait for your drink. So he says, Starbucks has free Wi-Fi. I just have to register my email. It's free. He registers his Gmail account. Boom. He connects to robot.
What does that have to do with the
my
story?
God.
Well, I'm theorizing.
So the main
still doesn't make sense.
the main reason I wanted to bring up this article was not so much like to harp on the doctor or anything, but question like at what point do robots?
What's the doctor's name so we can start a hashtag boycott this doctor?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to do that in case like it turns out like
You're in like the
I'm
ER.
joking.
the doctor was also dying, so he could not be in the room. You know.
That would be a twist.
The doctor was delivering the news to
All of
himself.
a twist.
But I was more kind of questioning are there certain jobs like that robots can't take over, like being a doctor?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, I think being a
Doctor
doctor in general, I feel like there's a lot of that job that would be good for a robot because it's very technical and objective a lot of the time. But there is certainly also stuff like that where I feel like the human touch is still like.
Right. Well, I mean, the robot could have reached out.
I don't mean a literal touch. I mean like the connecting. But I guess the robot could have like held hands.
A Dalek.
All right. Another new.
What?
In other news, as we keep swimming upstream, Mark Zuckerberg announced that Facebook is going to start moving from away from public posts and more towards like private group setting kind of thing.
I don't get it. Can you
Me
elaborate?
neither.
Did you like read the article? Because I just saw the headline.
I've heard a lot of stuff about it on the news, and even after reading the article, I don't exactly understand it because there already are private groups on Facebook. You know, but he's kind of saying like it's kind of moving to more private messaging.
Do they think like Snapchat kind of like in that direction where it's like less about like posting on a wall?
So
and more
that's actually what this article kind of says. It's going to kind of be like that, and then but that's
like
not
private
really
stories on Snapchat or
like all of Facebook. Like you know how on Snapchat you can send individual things to one another, or you can send it to groups, or you can post it on your story.
Okay.
I think it's kind of going to be like that. You know,
Isn't it already like that?
Yeah, but people don't. I think they really want to make the switch away from like posting on your story. Maybe
Is this like when Mark Zuckerberg announced that Facebook was going to be the future of VR? And then they kind of stopped talking about it a week later.
Hey, okay. But Facebook owns Oculus.
No, it could still happen.
There's
I'm
like
just saying they
cool
kind of
stuff
dropped
coming
it
out.
and we never saw anything.
Right.
But it could happen still.
Right. But did you hear about the new Oculus headset?
No.
The one you have?
No, it's basically
next
like an
one. Oh,
upgrade.
yeah.
You can use it
I feel
without
we
like
might have talked
we
about
might
it.
have without
Oh
it
wait,
being
I
attached
think I
to
do
a
remember. Is
computer or
this the one?
anything.
Yeah. I think we talked about this. It's just
cool.
like that would
Like
be
a
really cool.
full standalone VR headset where
So-
you can
Yes.
actually like move freely.
having never used VR, can I just get a really big TV and it's the same thing?
Not at all.
You know that's not
Is
true.
it really? No, like sometimes
2D
like
versus 3D.
like I watch people play VR and I'm like, and I'm watching it on my 2D screen and I'm like, I get it.
VR
Yeah,
is one of the coolest like experiences.
Well, it looks like you get it because they're looking around, but like imagine.
Well-
it's actually like your brain compensates so quickly where no matter how bad the graphics are cartoony, there's a weird thing that happens where you kind of stop thinking about it being a video game in some of the really good ones, and it is really trippy.
You
in
really
that
do
way.
forget when you take the thing off. You're like,
This is what the world looks like.
you know, you
it's
don't
so weird.
actually live in that digital world,
Yeah.
but you become accustomed.
And
to
the
it.
thing is, watching someone else play it, like watching the monitor of what they're doing, like the game itself is or whatever they're doing is cool enough in 2D. Like you are able to still like see how cool it is, but once you put on the glasses, that's like the full.
Yeah, it's not the
immersion.
same as
but
getting, like,
you're still
so
able
tripped
to
out by
enjoy
it.
it watching it. Like it's still a game that's like
so
well produced.
my
or whatever.
question is, when are we going to get VR? Maybe this is what you were talking about. That's like a first-person shooter game, like where I could like have a fake
They have
gun in my
attempts at
hand.
them. They
And I can
they
walk
have a few.
around.
it's just still so young.
I know.
The technology
Yeah.
is developing.
There is a really expensive thing, so it's
I
not
know
mainstream
that.
yet because it's like a few $1,000s. I think it might have been.
Did you get this
3,000 or something.
recommended to you on YouTube?
I don't think so. I
Are you
think I
about
saw
to-
it on I looked it up. But
Okay.
yeah, you probably saw on YouTube the same thing that I'm about to talk
Maybe.
about. It's like you harness yourself in and it kind of suspends you. You're not like
yeah.
in the air, but it just like is keeping you a little lighter. And you have the VR headset on, and then you have it's called an omnidirectional treadmill, I believe, at your
You
feet.
can go anywhere.
So because you're also some of your weight is relieved by the rest of this thing, then you can just walk in any direction and you don't actually move. You can run. The weight thing also, like your harness senses when you jump up. So it's like when they make a cheaper version of that, like affordable for the average person, I think that will be the first step towards like actually mainstream VR is when all that
Yeah.
stuff becomes affordable and it's like actually practical to completely immerse yourself in a game like that and move around.
Well, it's like
and-
Ready Player One.
Yeah,
And like
seriously.
that was all technology that's
Yeah.
currently being developed.
Yeah.
And I've had this video recommended to me a bunch that's like this gun that simulates recoil in VR.
Oh, whoa.
And I still haven't clicked on it, but I've just seen the thumbnail
Yeah.
and like he's like, I experienced real gun recoil in VR. And so like there's all these technologies coming out that allow you to be
Yeah, there
immersed
was-
even more.
There's a vest like that too that this
Right,
was on
haptic
YouTube also,
vest.
but I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah.
where it's like I don't think it's just like is like thumps or something,
Yeah,
right? But it's just you
yeah.
feel where you would have gotten hit basically, so that
no, I can't do
you
that.
just well, no, it doesn't like hurt. It's
I
just
can't
like
do that. It's
you
too
just know
scary.
like oh, it would have been right there.
No, but it reminds me of like the evolution of computers, how it was like one computer was the size of a room, and now like
Yeah.
our phones are 100
Like-
times more
Yeah.
powerful.
Like one gigabyte of storage when they first made it, like took up a whole laboratory, and
Yeah.
now it's like,
Yeah.
my phone has 64.
Yeah, I mean,
phone
I
has
don't think it's.
64.
That's low.
Wait a minute, yeah,
My phone.
Mine's 256 now.
I'm right there with you.
yeah.
I think I'm 128.
I
Yeah, with
got-
the program, dude.
I got
It's
my phone
2019.
like 4 years ago.
So did
and
I.
you
No
haven't filled
excuse.
it up.
No,
Wow.
I don't do that much. Pretty boring guy. Yeah. Interesting, right?
VR is cool.
Yeah, it's not.
Interesting.
It's not. It's something that could also just completely go away. But I don't know. I feel like it could very easily be that we're watching the beginning of something that in like decades in the future will be the next big revolution in technology. Like that will be the next big step up.
I don't think it'd ever be like forgotten. I just think that
It could also just be sidelined.
There
Yeah.
are- ups and downs,
it'd just be
yeah.
used for like porn and
Yeah,
entertainment.
exactly.
But
That's also
I
possible.
think that it will lead to like this huge thing where
Yes.
it'll be kill. And
Kill.
mixed reality too when they like
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
that'll
That
be-
is weird.
That'll be really helpful, like
Yeah.
being able to have like Yelp in your eyes, you know, or like
Who would use
Google
Yelp?
Glass.
That's when I would get
Google
contact
Glass.
lenses. If I could get Google Glass, but in contacts, finally I would get over my fear and just be like, all right, I'm getting those because that'd be just so cool.
Yeah.
I want contact lenses or glasses that I wear, and when I'm in a conversation, it tells me what to say. Because sometimes like people are talking, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
for the
like-
longest time, it would just be like the Siri autofill thing where it would just be like really weird sounding. Like,
No,
you'd be
it
like,
could-
That is cool at the park today, my friend.
Or like
Maybe like,
just
okay.
the generic ones from Gmail.
Yeah.
yeah, like great.
Thanks so much.
Like someone sends you a really long email, and Gmail kind of gets the gist of it, and it's like
Awesome.
talking
See
about
you
like
soon.
like plans for like
looking forward.
yeah,
to it.
like plans for a funeral.
Looking forward to it. See you there.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds great. That's like when my grandma sends like, "Oh, your grandfather's in the hospital." Sending LOL.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like you see that on the internet, but like my grandma has
My
actually
mom
sent.
used to do that.
Isn't
too.
that? Oh, for those of you who don't get it,
Lots of
LOL.
love.
Yeah, lots of love.
versus laughing out loud or laugh
Isn't
out
it
loud?
kind of crazy that we've created our like not us, but like we've kind of created our own language
Yeah.
through, like text shortcuts. Why am
So
I
weird.
blanking out?
OMG.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like
and even I'm thinking like even emojis. There are
Yeah.
people who study emojis.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's so weird.
Have you seen the video though, where it's I forget, it was on like one of those like talk shows, and it's not coming to me which one it was, but you get the gist. It was one of those shows, like a nightly shows, and then they're talking about they're like, we're bringing on professionals like linguists and like people that study emojis. This is what made me think of it, and. Also, like some teenagers were consulting in this, and we have cracked the code of what your teenagers are saying with all these things, and it's like the most wrong thing in the world.
funny.
It's like it'll be like the flower emoji. And it's like this means they're getting drugs and crack cocaine. It's like no, unless
what
I'm
do you
just out of the
mean?
loop.
So when I send all my friends a flower emoji, they're not going to go get me drugs and cocaine.
Oh, I might just actually not know the code. Maybe I should pay attention to the video more.
The thing is, only 10 emojis get used. I have to say, only,
I mean, I might recently
Wow.
used emojis.
Smirky
I stay in there.
Smirky face,
Winky
peach.
face.
But I'll sometimes search specifically for like a really weird
Oh,
emoji.
yes.
Just like
Yeah.
a random
Yeah.
one to send.
For example, every time I post on my phone about office hours, I always try and find a really random emoji to use.
So what's
you know?
office hours?
Office Hours is our weekly vlog that we post every Sunday. Go check it out. It's one of my favorite things. I think I've recommended it twice on the Recommendation Railroad. We'll get to that later. Don't worry. Getting ahead of it. I think it's time for the question of the podcast. And today's question, a little interesting.
Just a little?
Just a little.
No,
Not that
yeah.
interesting. Because we're all pretty young. But I thought it, interesting to predict the future, maybe.
What an intro.
Augie's not going to like this question. But the question is, if someone made a movie of your life, would it be a drama, a comedy, a rom-com, an action film, or a science fiction? Interesting question. I'll go first so you'll have some time to think. I would like to think that mine it's going to be, I don't know, I'm thinking a rom-com. Because I kind of do the same thing every day, but like, that's kind of where comedy comes from, everyday life,
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be action.
Well, okay, but this is why I find this question interesting, because the thing with movies about life, and I'm not going to get super into the movie making part of it, because that would be annoying, but...
Coming of age.
Yeah. But there is...
mine would be a coming of age movie.
Yes, for your whole life. But you'll notice, like, obviously, they always center on the really big event or the cool story, and then the person it's about is really just a free character to use in a broader story that the writer thinks is interesting. So I would argue, like, I guess what I was going to say is it's really hard to predict, because you say it would be a rom-com because you do the same thing every day, not much changes, wouldn't be an action, but that would make you the perfect character that someone would want to write about if tomorrow you're in a hostage crisis and all of a sudden you just got placed in a position where you had to be the one who did something that ended up like being really cool.
Oh,
Like,
I see.
So it's really
I
hard to
see what
predict,
you're
because whatever you
saying.
think you are can change like based on what happens.
But
to you.
I'm trying to think realistically,
Yes.
Like if someone were to make a movie about my life until now.
Oh, up until now? Okay,
Well,
that does
until
change
now,
it.
it would 100% be a comedy or a rom-com, not a drama or anything.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're right. The fact that I'm so perfect for like such a boring movie
Yeah.
would make it much more interesting if it were an action. Like everyday Will,
Yeah.
Right.
whole family is kidnapped and he must choose
Yes.
who to save.
Yeah, like if
know?
something happened to you that was like more action movie or even like horror or something, you would be then the perfect person for that to happen to in a movie,
I
because
think
it's like
I see a rom-com though. Have you seen Netflix's
What's Netflix?
Hulu. Have you seen the Netflix original series? There we go. Love.
Yeah, is
the
that
name
what
of
you
the
picture my
Netflix
life? You think I'm that messed up?
Yeah.
The characters are so flawed.
That's a
he's just like
rom-com?
Just because he has a big nose and I have a big nose?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. I saw him yesterday. He's my neighbor.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
The star of
Are you sure he's not
Netflix's
stalking you?
Love.
isn't that what it's about?
No,
Stalking
now
someone?
people
I don't think so.
know where
Oh.
if people know
Oh.
where he lives, they're gonna be able to find you.
Ooh.
What's his
That's
name?
interesting.
Dylan was thinking of you.
Yeah.
Paul Rust.
Paul Rudd is your neighbor?
Paul Rudd.
Wow.
Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is really just about Ant-Man and not really
And
the
the Wasp?
No, she's not.
Oh.
No,
I
come
didn't
on.
see it.
It's a movie that's like it's about a man and a woman, but really just the man.
And the Wasp.
I finally watched Bohemian Rhapsody.
What'd you think?
Pretty okay, right?
Yeah, like it was an enjoyable, entertaining
Yeah.
movie, but then I was just more confused coming out of it because none of it happened.
Yep.
Like I looked it up and I was like, wait, what?
It's a great movie.
This character didn't even exist. This like
Yeah,
Wait,
it's a
really?
great movie,
Yeah.
but as a biopic, it's
Let me just say, I went into
Yeah.
it not knowing a single thing about Queen other than some of their songs.
Same,
I went in, I was like, they wrote "We Will Rock You." What?
Oh, okay. Not
No,
that.
that was me. And I was
Wow.
like, oh wow, this is a crazy life this guy had. You're telling me right now that it's fake.
Yeah.
We talked about this on the podcast.
So wait,
whatever.
So that character that's like isn't even real, the record exec
the
guy,
one that's played
Yeah.
by
Mike
By
Myers.
Shrek?
Yeah. He was. First of all, I didn't know it was Mike Myers until I looked
Yes,
it up afterwards.
exactly.
Isn't
I
it
thought
cra-
he was bad. I thought the actor playing him, I was like, this is such an over the like. the rest of the movie was like realistic and like I liked it. And then once it got to his part, I was like, what? Like he's playing it so over the top and like it didn't feel
Mike Myers.
real. And it was
Mike Myers.
It's Mike Myers. Yeah.
It all made sense in
Isn't
that
it?
moment.
I saw that Mike Myers. He like Mike. It, like the last credit of the movie before it starts is and Mike Myers. And after the movie, I was like, I turned to the person I was seeing with, and I was like, who is Mike Myers?
Well, here's actually the thing is he was in Wayne's World. Oh, I hope I'm getting this right, but he was in Wayne's World, which is part of what made Bohemian Rhapsody famous after the fact.
Oh,
So
I
it's-
did
so
not
that's
even put
why-
that together, but that's
Yeah,
Wait,
one
one of the most
his
famous
specific scene.
scenes.
So you know
Yeah.
how his line is? He goes as the record producer. He says like, "It's never the song people will be like bopping their heads to in the car, or whatever." Like teens,
Right,
that's what
everything
they
makes
do
so
in
much
Wayne's
more
World.
sense.
So
Yeah.
basically, Bohemian Rhapsody came out when Queen, because Will is confused, and I'm sure some of the listeners are. Bohemian Rhapsody came out, and it was a hit. It was like on the top charts.
What year did it come out?
I don't know, but it came out and it was a hit. But it wasn't like this is the song of, and like
Yeah.
this is one of the best songs ever. And then it kind of like went away, and then in Wayne's World they had a whole like sequence of them like jamming out to it, and then it repopularized it as like a song that you would like play at parties and everyone would
so it was because
sing
of that.
along. That is a big reason
A big
why.
wow. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Like,
Wayne's
yeah.
Wayne's World came out in 1992. I guess that's crazy because my whole life Bohemian Rhapsody has been such a huge song.
Yeah.
That's because Wayne's World is older than me. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. When did Bohemian Rap? Steve Tim's still locked in the closet, so I have to look up when it came
man.
out. No, Steve. No.
How is he rolling the intros from in there?
He has a button.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so if he like the thing is he can't choose which intro to play. It just go. Are you taking off your shoes?
I just took off my shoes.
It's gonna smell
It's an office,
gross.
not a home.
It's gonna smell gross.
It's not like it's your home.
People are. I
or
don't
a
remember if we
house.
talked about this, but people are upset that Rami Malek won because they're saying like there's a difference between acting and impersonating.
Oh, boo.
But there's not, because you're always impersonating when you're acting, even if it's
exactly.
fictional.
So it came out in
anger.
1975.
And that the same thing could be said about what's his name, Christian Bale. So
Same
No,
thing could be
Christian
said
Bale was
about almost
good.
anything. oh,
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's an interesting thought. Anyone else?
I could see. I thought you were gonna say like because he didn't actually like sing because they used someone else for the singing, and then I was
I'm
gonna
not
be
mad
like,
about that.
oh, that's an interesting point. But I still would refute that. But the
Well,
one
it's not
about
a singing
the one about
competition.
impersonating is like, come on.
Well, didn't I listen to an interview with him and he said they tried to mix in his voice like for some of
Yeah.
the imperfections you hear after when he's like doing lots of drugs and stuff.
Right.
Is like actually his voice. He had to learn to sing for it.
yeah.
He would sing and actually do it, and they tried to blend it to his voice, but like
Well, because in the original audition, they auditioned his singing, and then like they loved him, and his singing was like
It's Freddie Mercury.
yeah.
They're like,
So
we
yeah.
can just bring someone in to like figure out the singing, but like
Yeah.
he's good. But
I think
they looked at his singing.
I think I
during the
remember
audition.
seeing that it was they mixed in his voice, Freddie Mercury,
And Mark
a lot.
Martel.
Is that that's what I was gonna say? That did the
Yeah.
YouTube video.
Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah,
he
there's this
sounds
great
exactly
impressionist-
like Freddie
yeah.
Mercury. It's crazy.
They should have used me.
they should have. I actually I have an email. I'm logged into Augie's email.
Oh.
It's from Bohemian Rhapsody movie crew from 2016. It says Augie.
At gmail.com.
Yeah. Augie, want to be Freddie Mercury in movie?
Yeah,
Just
and
voice
it's
though.
W2B.
Yeah, and Augie actually never responded, but you have three choices. You have nope, you have sounds great, and you have see you then.
See you then.
Which one
Want to
should
be
I
Freddie
respond?
Mercury? Rhapsody
Nope.
too. See you then.
Okay, nope. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, did you guys hear that?
Did anyone answer the question or?
Yeah, I answered it.
Okay,
and
cool.
we kind of,
I
Maybe
discussed it.
I feel like a dramedy. I feel like everyone
A dramedy?
dramedy.
I said rom-com.
I would say dramedy too,
But
because
also,
that's a broad.
actually, I would be a comedy because like I really haven't had like anything super like it feels pretty like sometimes it feels pretty dramatic to me, but on like the scale of things that would happen in a movie.
I mean,
it's
but like look
very
at eighth grade.
minor.
It's anything can be made dramatic.
Anything
that's
can
true.
be made
My movie is
dramatic.
psychological thriller.
Yes. My movie is straight up slasher horror film.
Jeez.
That's gross. I was gonna say I think Steve Timms would be a horror movie.
Why? Because he has to deal with us.
No.
Because
It
he's
would-
stuck in a closet the whole time.
th-
Like
actually,
127 hours.
joining French Fox.
127 episodes of
Joining
French
French Fox would be the end of the movie where his life gets better.
Oh.
Steve Timms had a hard life, everyone.
We don't need to get into that now.
We'll get into it at
a
a different
later
time.
podcast.
Mine would be
Yeah.
a period piece.
Yeah,
A
Of
period
this
piece?
time period.
Of this time. Wow. Okay.
I think my. Oh, did you guys hear that?
Hear what?
It's getting closer.
It's just in your head.
Is that an
Will.
airplane?
No one else hears
No
that?
one
Might be a
else hears
boat.
this. It's just you.
Oh man, what could it be?
Oh wait, now I hear it.
I really need to make an updated version.
Now I hear it.
Just make the beginning shorter.
Or the entire, just one.
Too
section.
bad. We're living it. We're almost there.
I see
It's a
it.
suggestion sailboat.
It's a recommendation railroad.
If I don't pause it in time, it'll play again.
Well, everyone, it's time to get on board the Recommendation Railroad. Your ticket is one recommendation. Who's going first?
I'll go.
Go for it.
Go.
For anyone in school, do extracurricular activities, because I know it seems fun to just go home right after school and get all your homework done and watch Netflix or play video games, but doing any sort of extracurricular activity is super special. You'll meet good friends doing it, and you'll be happy that you did it, even though sometimes you'll complain about it, but it's definitely worth it. So take advantage of opportunities.
Heck yeah.
Noah, anything?
I'd like to recommend a song.
Go for it.
It's by Vampire Weekend. It's called Sunflower.
Do they still make new songs?
Now they do,
This is a new
yeah.
song?
It's been like, I want to say 3 years since they've released anything, but
Yeah, I haven't heard about that in a
yeah,
while.
it's a bop. It goes ba da 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 ba da.
Okay, now no one needs to listen to it.
Cool.
Because I heard you
just
do
saw
it.
that clip of you singing like
Yeah.
that on iTunes.
I was gonna play it on the podcast,
Wait,
but I
is
think
that
that's
the
illegal.
intro
So.
to between two intros.
It could be.
Okay. So,
So I recommend that.
I'm gonna listen to that.
Yeah, Sunflower by Vampire Weekend.
Dylan, where's your ticket to get on the
All right.
railroad?
I got a ticket. Do not do extracurricular activities. They suck. Just kidding. I just wanted to rebut Augie, but actually,
He's just
do
trying
them.
to think of
Do them.
something because he didn't
No, I
bring
have
his
one.
ticket.
I have one. I have one. I have a ticket.
I
swear.
even have a second
I have
one.
one.
Wow.
No, I have
just
one.
thought of it.
I promise.
Augie, if you'd like, I'll allow it. You can give your ticket to Dylan. It's like if you just.
No, I have one. I do. I have one. I'm gonna get so much hate for this. I last night was really bored and I started watching Venom, and it's if you go into it with no expectations. Here's the problem with that movie: it was advertised horribly because it's not an action movie or a superhero movie in any way, shape, or form, but it's actually like a pretty decent, just like kind of comedy, almost like. I saw an iTunes review called like a buddy cop comedy, which is kind of actually like legit. Like it's really interesting. Like I was watching it because I thought I would laugh at how bad it was, like The Room, and it's not at that level. It's like it has a lot of problems, but there's some stuff about it where I'm like, it has potential where now they're making a sequel.
So
And it could be actually like, it could grow into something if they just advertise it as the genre that it fits in.
what you're saying is that this is what the ad should have been. It should have been. What's the main character's name?
Eddie.
It should have been advertised as your average teenager, Eddie.
He's not a
meets
teenager.
your
Tom Hardy.
average guy, Eddie,
It's Tom Hardy.
meets a parasitic symbiote, and they strike up an unexpected friendship.
I mean, yeah.
That's how it should. Okay.
Dude, Venom calls Tom Hardy a pussy in it. Wait, that's okay.
All right, well, he'll just bleep it out.
I mean, it's not really a bad word if you use it in that way. If I had said it like,
No, actually, it is.
That's actually
it
the
is a
exact
bad-
way where it
Can you
is
just
a bad
can
word.
you just bleep it
Why?
out so we can keep talking about it? Because I
Yeah,
think this
no,
is important
you
for
can keep this
everyone.
all in.
Oh,
You can keep this all
okay.
in.
Yeah.
Clever.
Nice.
Okay.
Dylan used
Yeah.
a bad word.
but they say it in Venom.
He said,
Which is
I wanted to bleep it out for myself too.
Okay, everyone say it so Noah can bleep
I'm
it
not
out.
saying it.
All right. Well, let's get away from you. You're on the train.
Isn't that like
You're
it's-
sitting in the
people
back of
say
the
it
train.
Like saying wimp, like it's in
Yeah,
Venom.
but they shouldn't.
It's a bad
Why?
word.
Well, I'm not getting
Your
into this
ticket
right
just
now.
flew out the train
Oh,
window,
yeah.
and now you
That
have to
would
go
be
on
like-
a Polar Express adventure
That
to
would
get
be
it.
like using a racial term and being like, "Well, yeah, but people use that word to describe this race."
Wait, so is this like so? Is it supposedly like a sexist thing?
No, I think it's not an appropriate word for this podcast.
There's an option when we upload this podcast to mark it as explicit or clean. And any word worse than like darn.
I'd never even heard that it was worse than those, but duly noted.
Interesting.
I recommend my recommendation.
Okay.
So my recommendation is gonna be it's an old video game, came out in I think 2015. It's called Until Dawn. I hate you don't understand. I haven't slept the past 2 nights. It's not even that scary, but I get really scared. I hate jump scares, and I hate jump scares that are super obvious. Like all these jump scares are like you're like it zooms in on the window behind the person, and then there's a jump scare, and you're expecting it, but that's what makes it so much scarier. It's a great move. It's a great video game.
And really cool about that video game is it is there's a lot of games where you make decisions and then it feels like you're going somewhere and changing things, but in the end it kind of just goes back to the same 2 possible endings. But this one has
yeah,
I don't know, 8,
a little
10,
bit of background.
16.
You play as teenagers, and you can either they all die or they all make it, or certain ones die, certain ones make it, and you control that. The one thing I'll say is I feel like they harp on it so much. Like every 5 seconds, they remind you the choices you make will affect the game. The choices you make will affect the game.
I would be too scared to play that game.
It's
that
so
stresses me out.
no. I'm gonna.
it's a cool game.
I'm gonna show you a picture of one of the scary guys, and I want to get your reaction.
Rami Malek.
Spook me.
I'm gonna spook you.
No.
I can't even look. It's so
Is
scary.
it gonna be Rami
Can I
Malek?
look now?
Oh, they're so creepy.
Wait, pull up a full size. I want to pop.
I didn't even know there were
Oh.
monsters in it. I thought it was literally just Rami Malek is in it,
Oh,
and
that's
there's
pretty
some
good.
other
It's
teenagers.
It's like Golem.
It's a Wendigo.
Wendigo. Yeah, do you know what a
Wendigo,
Wendigo
yeah.
is?
I've read
that jump scare got me.
Oh,
Okay, let's keep it moving.
Anyway,
should I pop them up on the screen in the video podcast?
Yeah.
No.
Jump scare 'em.
No, I don't wanna
just
spook
put it in
them.
a jump scare. Make
All right.
silence and jump scare them.
So yeah,
Kill them.
everyone's getting off the train. It'll be around here same time next week. Make sure you have a ticket. Make
I
sure
think I
it's
got
Yeehaw.
kicked off the train a few
You did.
stops
You
back.
did.
yeah.
I think I was
Dylan,
booted.
you're just sitting in the back. Yeah. So hope you enjoyed this week's French Fox podcast. Short, sweet. Actually, not even that short or that sweet. I mean, it was pretty sweet. Raise your hand if you think it was sweet.
It was
No one's
sweet
raising
as-
their hand.
Sweet as sugar.
So I hope you enjoyed this one. Check us out. We release a podcast every Thursday wherever you find your podcast, literally anywhere. You can just walk outside and yell
Even
podcast.
Stitcher.
Wow.
What
Really?
is that?
What's that?
Stitcher? We're on Stitcher?
Hey, don't hate on our Stitcher listeners.
If you're-
Stitcher is
now that
important.
we've said what Stitcher, we're not on Stitcher
if
anymore.
you're
we happen to just lose all our listeners.
Yeah.
They were all on Stitcher.
We're all Stitcher.
Also, everyone, make sure to check out
Actually, what
Office
is
Hours,
Stitcher?
released every Sunday. It's really fun. It's probably, I say it every time, it's probably one of my favorite things. Also, check us out on social media at French Fox Prod. Is that? I believe so. I just follow it all.
Yeah.
Like everything. Subscribe, comment, send us some, DM us. We'll respond. We love you guys.
We just hit 100 subscribers.
Yeah,
so-
thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
You really
Means a
respond.
lot.
You liked that video that we posted, and we're glad to see all you over here from 240 Reviews.
Yes.
Welcome.
We got
What's
a lot of fun content coming. Today it has been Augie,
What's up? Hey, bye.
Noah,
Goodbye, everyone.
Dylan,
Bye.
and I've been Will. Can't wait to see you next week. Have a great night. I'm assuming you're listening to this at nighttime.
You're probably wrong.